Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0-Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0-Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 395. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
395. If I was to ask the pain level of Braves fans from 0 to 10, I think they would answer a 395.
The 104 win Braves, done.
Yikes.
The 101 win Orioles, done.
Yikes.
The 100 win Dodgers,
Yikes.
swept, done.
Whew.
Insert Vince Carter, it's over, GIF. Don't have to hear about, well, we probably still will hear about the structure of the postseason, but at least for now, we can just focus on the LCS.
Yeah.
Man, what a last couple days it's been.
Wild. Absolutely wild. This, I said it in the text with the group chat. I'm going to stay on this. I hope it gets better from here. Like, it was so good. I don't want that to be like the series we remember. I don't want to remember Braves Phillies NLDS. Like, I want it to continue to keep the fire. And I think the only way is that we have two very solid narratives. Very solid. Diamondbacks, no one thought they would be here. No one. Nobody thought they had what it took. What?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say.
I want to hear your other narrative, and then I'll share.
Well, I mean, with the Phillies, it's like you going against a juggernaut. You know what I mean? Going against one of the best offenses we've ever seen. I think there was hope that for a lot of Phillies fans, there's hope, but I think most people would have leaned Braves. And then you have the battle for Texas on the other side. So it's like, I feel like it's cooking up. I feel like it's solid. I need them to show out. I need it to not disappoint.
You mentioned the bit about nobody thinking that the D-backs would be here. I feel like we picked a pretty good year to kind of buy into the Arizona buzz a little bit back in March,
so.
No?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we both had them in the postseason. If we were to go back to March rankings, I think we might have had them in a wild card spot. Maybe. I don't know.
No, it actually doesn't look like we did. But I mean, we talked them up. I mean, it's on record. Like, we were certainly... We were painting what they were priming.
Well, they did it. I mean, I think they've looked the most impressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to all these series, but just to your point, it's hard to decipher how much of that was Arizona and how much of that was LA. And I'm not trying to discredit Arizona.
No,
but,
for sure.
I mean,
you're
goodness.
saying it could be like the Dodgers losing, not the Diamondbacks winning.
Yeah, which is a weird thing to say, given they won 100 games, and we for the last month or two, I feel like we've been talking about the Dodgers and how this was seemingly a punt year for the Dodgers, whatever that looks like for them, and I use quotations there, because again, we go back to it. This was the year I feel like that they were kicking the can down the road in preparation for the Shohei sweepstakes. They win 100 games. Then they get to the postseason, and it's like, what happened? I mean, that was abysmal. But then on the flip side, you got the D-backs who seemingly kicked it into gear a little bit. So maybe it's a mixture of both. I honestly don't know.
Just clean baseball. two teams in the NLCS have played very, very clean. I'm not going to say like mistake free, but like we're not going to beat ourselves type baseball.
Scale of 1 to 10. How do you like the LCS field, just in terms of who's in it and the narratives that come with it?
Yeah. I mean, I think for the Rangers to really come on the map, we talked about it all regular season, and I know they didn't manage to pull out the division, but like if we're going to talk about how a window is opening with Texas and how a window is somewhat like starting to fade and close with Houston, you'd think this is what you have to do. You have to get through them. So I like that matchup. I like the matchup of the Phillies and the Diamondbacks just because of how they've played this postseason. But when you look at the Diamondbacks, like they weren't that much of a home run team in the regular season, and that's all they've done. I think they hit 4 home runs in 1 inning yesterday. So it's
First team to do it in the postseason.
What? That's insane. Phillies with 11 this series in 4 games. So like you're getting 2 very hot teams. I'm excited for it. I think it's solid. I mean, I dream scenario would have liked to see the O's in there, I think. I'm kind of glad it's not the Twins, as much as I don't like the Astros. Twins put up a good fight, but...
No, I mean, you can say what you will about the Astros, but, I mean, people are going to watch, whether they're watching as an Astros fan or
as
they're hate watching. Like, they're going to watch, and this streak or this run of 7 straight ALCS appearances that they're on makes for a good narrative, regardless how many rings they come out of it with. It's... I mean, if it were, like, honestly, people would be lying through their teeth if they said, well, I would rather had Rangers Twins. Nobody wants to watch that.
No.
Nobody wants to watch that. And even if the Astros didn't have the baggage that I guess you can still attribute to them, even though the roster from 2017 is essentially non-existent at this point. There's still a couple guys on there, of course. But even if they didn't,
guys.
Yeah. I mean, even if they didn't have that baggage, just the fact that it's an interdivision, interstate matchup, I think
it's got the juice.
It has enough juice. And honestly, I could see I mean, I didn't watch a bunch of Texas Houston games this year, but I would have to imagine that there's good potential there for things to get a little bit chippy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot at stake. You get the whole Texas narrative involved. I like that matchup. I really do.
I'm a little bummed that the only October weather we're going to get is in Philly.
Yeah, but you're going to get October Philly baseball.
Yeah. October Philly baseball is great, but you know how it is, man. I love the cold weather, long sleeves, infielders blowing on the hands to warm it up. And we're not going to have that with the other series. We're not going to have it here in Phoenix, but that's all right. I like it. This is good matchups. I don't think too many people would have predicted this.
Scale of 1 to 10. What are you putting it at? This field of 4.
Overall field.
And the narratives that come with it.
I would say it's like a 7.9.
Okay. Yeah, that's right around where I was thinking. That seems fair.
Yeah.
Strong potential for some good baseball.
I think if you're a baseball fan and you just if you're not super salty of your team just getting bounced recently, you're like us, your teams have been out of it for a hot minute. This is good baseball. And I don't really have a dog in the fight too much. I know you've like adopted the Phillies. My Philly love is just from me, wanting to go to the wild card game. But outside of that, I want to see good baseball. That's all I'm hoping for.
I mean, the reality is when you look at the field, three out of the 4 teams are essentially new to the scene. And yeah, we can talk about the Phillies in 2022. But before that, like, what are we really talking about here? We're basically talking about 3 new teams to the scene plus the Astros.
Yeah.
So you take the Astros out of the mix, 75% of the field. This is like fresh, new storyline baseball. And I'm looking forward to it.
That's nice.
Like I said, you get the Texas matchup, which I think is just going to be good in and of itself. But then to your point, with the with the Phillies and the D-backs, like there's not really much of like a rivalry or narrative there, but you've just got really good, hot baseball right now. Like 2 teams that are meeting, I think, at the perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 teams that, like you said, just got hot at the right time. And it's so rare for that to happen, I feel like, in the CS. I feel like when you get a hot team, it's like, they had a really good stretch at the end of the regular season. They fought their way in. They got through the wild card. And then maybe they gave it a good run on the DS, but didn't quite get there. This Diamondbacks team is for real, dude.
Yeah.
Like they're real. They're here to do it.
Yep. A team, however, not here to do it, seemingly MIA. The Orioles. Let's talk about the finish to this Orioles-Rangers series. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact that I think when I was running through my 104, 103, 104, 101, 100 win spiel there at the beginning, I don't think I mentioned the Dodgers got swept. I didn't mention the O's.
Yeah.
That's tough. What happened, dude? I mean, we saw it. We saw the first 2 in Baltimore, but I think you and I were on the same page. I didn't really give them much of a chance in Game 3, and for good reason. They go out and drop 7-1. Big time Nate dealing.
That's just sad. Like no fight. Just went out lame, limp.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the hard takeaway there is somebody kind of from the outside looking in, as like not necessarily an O's fan, but just somebody who was really pulling for him. It's sad to see now that the narrative, seemingly overnight after they dropped that game, shifted back to, well, was this team early to the scene? It's like that. I thought we were past that. I thought we were through that checkpoint where we're talking about this team. Okay, they're like, for the next 6, 8, 10 years, this is the team we're looking at here. This is the team that's going to be a perennial threat coming out of the American League every year. But because they got swept by a, say what you will, like lukewarm Rangers team, like not necessarily hot by any stretch, it just really kind of flipped the script, I feel like, after that sweep. And it sucks for the O's, man, because they put up, say what you will about their performance in the postseason, but they put up a heck of a year.
Yeah, I don't think you can use the like early to the scene narrative when you're 100 win. You know what I mean? Like when you're a 100 win division winner. That's not allowed.
Yeah, it's not a fluke.
No. Trying to find freaking app. Where are we at? What day is it? The 12th?
Thursday the 12th.
So that finished up Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday night, Game 3.
So you had 7, 11, and 3. So you're telling me 21 runs in 3 games is just lukewarm? I feel like the Rangers need a little bit more respect. Or are you saying coming into the postseason?
I'm saying coming into that because, like, nobody was paying any attention to the Rays. I don't care. No. After game 1 starts and you see the turnout, I'm like, okay, I'm fully disregarding this team. So I didn't really give them much of a chance.
Sure.
Good team, didn't give much of a chance. So I don't necessarily view that as a bump in my opinion on them coming into the series. I still think compared to a team like the Phillies, like the D-backs, yeah. I mean, honestly, the 2 teams coming out of the NL, I feel like are 2 teams I would label as hot. I think the Rangers are a little more lukewarm coming into the DS.
I don't know, man. I see what you're saying just because, and you kind of using that conversation with like the Dodgers. How much of it is, and I know the games we were at, I mean, the Rangers put up a ton of runs, but how much of it is like the O's just kind of flopping? This was a bit of a flop.
It was. There's no denying that. That is just a fact. If you watch the games, like you analyze the box scores all you want and the advanced analytics, whatever. If you watch the games, you just know that this was, and we talked about it, this was not the same O's team.
No.
It just wasn't that we saw through September. So you're right. It kind of begs the question, like, how much of this was Texas and how much of this was Baltimore? I mean, it doesn't help that, like I mentioned, you got big game Nate just dealing 7 innings deep, 1 earned run on 5 hits, 7 Ks. I mean, even if you did figure it out after game 2, you made some overnight adjustments, it wasn't going to carry you very far against Eovaldi. And that's what I said. I said the start prior to that was all I needed to know, that he was fine. Because like we said, that stint after the IL, he was a little shaky, but the calendar flipped. I said, we're good to go. I didn't have many doubts about him coming into game 3. And I mean, he just shoved it, dude. Like, he just shoved. And that's not, if you're the O's trying to scratch and claw, that's not the buzzsaw that you're looking to run into.
Right. Yeah, Dean Kramer on the bump. Like, how much are you going to, he gave up a couple early, didn't he?
I mean, he gave up 6 in total. He only made it an inning and 2/3.
All right, so yeah, that's a couple for sure.
Yeah. That's a few.
Man. Just, I don't know, just flat, dude. It felt like it was lost on Sunday. Why even go down to Texas?
I mean, I feel like a common observation after game 2 or after game 3, looking back, hindsight, I think the series was lost with that grand slam.
Yep.
I think that's what did him in.
Yeah.
Because if you're the O's, the least you could do, if that grand slam doesn't happen, you can say, well, we kept it close. We scratched and clawed our way back into this. Mm-hmm. We kept it close for game 2. Let's make some adjustments, head into Texas, figure out a way to win game 3. We'll push it to game 4. You give up that grand slam, the morale is shot, dude. There's nothing left to cling on to at that point.
I'm going to ask a difficult question, and it's not necessarily because I feel a certain way or not. I'm just curious. Is Brandon Hyde the guy?
Are you asking this like, is he the guy moving forward?
Like, is he the guy that's going to get them to the top of the mountain?
I mean, I think we would be contradicting ourselves if we gave him all the praise that we did, saying we're glad that this guy is getting the opportunity after waiting it out for those multiple 100-loss seasons.
Right.
I think it's a little premature to jump the gun on that, saying maybe he's not the guy.
I'm just going to start it because I think that question has to start soon.
Hey, it's a valid conversation to be had. I just think it's a little early to have it. But
That's fair.
To your point, somebody has to start it. So have it be on record that Nate has presented that.
I'm just curious.
To the public.
That's all. Just curious. Look, and this is coming from a fan that understands what it's like to have a window possibly open with a good young core and not be able to get over the hump, and then that window kind of gets closed and that opportunity is wasted. That chapter is wasted. It's all I'm worried about. Did you get that little update that apparently Adley just like didn't move and stared at celebrations the entire time?
Dude, can I just go on record and say I'm done? Like, I'm tired of the Stephon Diggs. Like, it's so overused, dude. It's almost as if these like social media and videography teams tell players like in the 9th inning, hey, we need some hype material for next season's opening video and to be reused in next year's postseason. Should we make it? We're going to need you to just stay put. It's so washed.
I like it. I like it specifically because of the age. I think it's one thing if you have gotten a ring before, you've made it all the way through. I think if I'm an O's fan, if there's like a silver lining to try and find from this, it is that it happened right away. These boys are going to be hungry for a while. And they're going to be motivated for a while. You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting super early. You're not getting spoiled with super massive success early in the careers. It is something like, hey, you almost did it, but you weren't good enough. We know this team is going to be a problem moving forward. I think they know that they're going to be a problem moving forward. They're going to be good. They're going to continue to be in the race. I think this is a good thing. It's fuel inside you. I don't know if it's, what you're saying, like, I'm going to be on the DVD of next year. I don't want to see like we kept receipts BS on TikTok next year. I want to see, I'm going to remember that hurt, and I'm going to remember how hard it is that we fought to get here, and it still wasn't enough, so we need more.
Absolutely.
So
I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
I think for me, it just hits a little differently being in the I that I work in, where like social media is literally my job, and I just feel like I see this crap and like the corniness of it. I'm just like, I wish I could have the perspective that you have about it, where it's like, I still like that. I want that to be used as legitimate fuel, but I feel like my view on it has become so tainted because I see that stuff all the time. And it's just like, we need to find a different angle.
It's fair.
All this to say, though, a lot of talk on the O's, not to take away from anything that the Rangers have did. A heck of a series. The first team to sweep the O's in the Adley-Rutschman era.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is insane.
We've had some weird, leave it for the postseason to get some new bingo card stuff going. Braves getting shut out for the first time at home. And yeah, O's getting their first sweep or getting swept for the first time.
Different records being set, walks, back-to-back multi-homer game, just
weird stuff
that you just wouldn't think would be happening for the first time.
I like it.
That's the beauty of baseball, man. New stuff happens every day.
Sure
Gotta
is.
love it.
This Rangers offense ain't no joke. Deep.
It is not a joke.
And I know we're about to get into it, but the Astros had to fight to get through the Twins. The Twins were no lay down chumps. I know it still ended in 4, but I think the Twins played well.
Hey, good for the Twins, man.
I'm with you, dude. Like, I'm impressed.
I'm turning a new leaf for the Twins, I think, possibly in 2024. Maybe the 2024 Twins will be my Angels.
Maybe. Royce Lewis
Hopefully
is
with
real.
a little the what?
Royce Lewis is the dude.
He's for sure. Would have loved for him to have that moment there. I think it was the ninth. Was it tie and run? No. That'd have been a walk-off? I think he ended the game. He was like the second out in the ninth or something. Would have loved for that for him, but I mean, he gave you as many moments as I think he could have down the stretch. But bright future for the Twins, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Not
the
even
word
healthy
you
either.
used is right. Impressed.
Royce wasn't even healthy.
I mean, he had
Look out.
Buxton getting his first AB like in, what was it, the 8th
Yeah.
of the whole postseason, or just like the
That's
run
tough.
down the stretch.
Not good. But I am impressed. I think it's a tough ball club. I spent a long time hating Correa. The hate is still going to be there. It's probably going to be there forever. But I have to respect the fact that he is a winner. And he's a hard worker. And he's a motivator. And he's a leader. And you can't argue those things. And I think you got to show him a lot of love for what the Twins were able to do this year and the mentality. And it's hard to create a winning culture, I think. And so that's something where if he does stick around there and teach those guys that this is how we do it, you could see Minnesota back here next year. It's an easy division.
All right, so you presented to me a difficult question. Can I present to you a difficult question?
Oh boy, sure.
Do you think missing out on the ALCS at the hands of his former ball club like actually stung? Because with as much crap as we gave him for seemingly choosing the money over a winning ball club when he decided on the Twins the first time around, of course, I gotta think that regardless how people feel about Correa, I gotta think that this one stung. I think he does care. Like as much crap as we give him, I think this hits.
Mm-hmm.
This hits hard.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's like Jeremy Pena is I don't numbers wise I have no idea how he did, but like he's the real deal. He's their shortstop for a long time moving forward, so that's gotta hurt a little bit. I don't know if it would have been weirder if it happened in Houston or not. But I think it's gotta hurt.
He
I'd
hit
like to see that guy
409.
like get back to normal health. I'm tired of him. That's the thing that bugs me about him is like the confidence and the swagger that's there when you're hitting 240 and with like 18 home runs on the year or whatever he had. I mean, just not good enough numbers to be carrying yourself the way you do. I need better numbers. You're going to walk and talk and act like a star. I need numbers.
Yeah, like give us a legitimate reason to dislike you as a player. Like the
Right. Be so
don't-
good that I hate you.
Yeah, that's all we're asking. I mean, he hit 409, had 3 doubles and 4 ribbies in the series. So like certainly
Did his
Certainly
part for sure.
certainly showed up. There's more you can say than a lot of these other names that seemingly disappeared for the division series. But
Like we were talking, like give this team credit. Pablo looked really good. Sonny Gray, disappointing. I told you he had that in him, by the way. No one really believed me, but Sonny Gray has that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's got that wet napkin, weird little just about him that's in there somewhere. Sonny Gray's a wet napkin. I told you.
and every now and then it pokes its head.
Yep. You think has a good start, and you're like, this is him. No, it's not. He still has that other side. He's gonna bite you.
This is him. No, it's not. Hey, for real though, shout out to I don't want to say the back end of the rotation, but the guys that pulled up the rear in this series: Christian Javier, Jose Urquidy. Javier in game 3, I mean, albeit he had some room to work with. He went 5 innings deep, only allowed 1 hit, no runs, 9 Ks, had 5 walks, a little bit control issue there. But Urquidy for the Astros in game 4 went 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, and a walk.
Yeah, that's solid.
You got to like your chances when you're on the bump going up against a team throwing a bullpen game, which is what the Twins did in game 4. But
that ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing these stats on the broadcast where it's like when a team's starting pitcher goes 6-7 plus, their record is such and such and such and such. And it's always just off the charts. So it's like, at what point do we recognize that, I don't know, maybe having effective starting pitching, or at least a singular guy that you can roll out there and hope that he can give you more than an inning and a third before you go to the next guy in the pen, maybe that has some value. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I think my big takeaway, I will say, is probably going with some dudes that showed up in game 4 for the Astros. Going against Texas, going against the Rangers, you have to have all your guys working. You have to have all your guys going offensively. It can't just be the Altuve, Jordan show and Tucker show. It has to be those secondary guys. So the fact that Jose Abreu did his thing, Michael Brantley did his thing, that you need production from those guys. You need 5 of these guys to be doing it and doing it well and going at the same time in order to match up with what the Rangers have been doing.
Remind me what Abreu, do you have the stats pulled up? What did Abreu do in game 4? Because game 3 he had 2 bombs.
Yeah,
right?
Hit another one in game 4. That's what I'm saying. Had another one in game 4.
Yeah.
Couple ribs. Brantley with a solo shot. Those are the guys that, I think when you're like, you put lineup next to lineup and you can kind of just like cancel guys out. You know what I mean? Like Seager cancels out your Dawn and like you just go along those lines. I think the depth of the Rangers right now is greater, is a little scarier. But I'm still waiting to see how that pitching is going to really be able to hold
on. Talking about pitching, I'll tell you a team that did not have it, and that's the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Ugh.
As we mentioned, 4 home runs in a single inning for the D-backs, coming off acquisition Lance Lynn.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the dream scenario when you acquired him. Hey, season's on the line. You're our guy.
No, but like, to Dave Roberts' credit, and we'll get into that. He said, I mean, he was through 2 innings at that point, and he was cruising. Like he looked fine. And Dave Roberts said, like, there was no reason to anticipate something. I mean, literally, it was the first time it had ever happened in the postseason.
No, I'm not blaming
you certainly can't
that. It's just
you can't
it's
expect
the scenario.
That.
It's a you're going home, and Lance Lynn is the guy. That's who you're throwing out there. This is a tough pill to swallow because they don't have anybody else. Like
right. This
is just a crazy year. And I think like we got a couple Dodgers fans in the office and I was talking to them and they were just like, what? This is what we knew. Like we knew this was going to happen. And Kershaw, I mean, I'm going to try and support Kershaw as much as I can, but that set the tone. Set the tone. That's your hero. That's your guy. You get smacked right in the face right away.
Yeah, but that goes back to my point that I brought up where I'm like, because it's Kershaw, like, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow no matter which way you cut it. But like, if it was anybody else, I feel like that's a tougher pill to swallow. But because it's the guy that seemingly has time and time again let you down, like I said, he's had his moments for sure where he's been able to figure it out.
That's
but like
the thing, though.
It shouldn't have come as a surprise, is what I'm saying. So like, you almost have to anticipate that.
Possibly, but when you say that the Mitch Garver grand slam for the Rangers ended the O's series in their season, this series ended in the first inning. The very first inning that Kershaw was on the bump, this series was over. You have no pitching. Kershaw has to be Hall of Fame status for you to have any hope. And yeah, you may have been expecting it if you're a Dodger fan, but that was the RIP moment. There was nothing. There was no fight from anyone after that. Flip over on the other side of the ball, and it's like Freddie and Mookie, 1 for what? 20, 21?
Freddie and Mookie 1 for 21, no home runs. On the flip side, you have Corbin Carroll 7 for 17 with 2 bombs.
Yeah.
And that's just one guy.
Yeah. Stud. Hopped in the pool with the phone. Did you see that?
I did see that. Power move. I mean, when you're making the kind of money he's making,
big money.
You can afford that.
Yeah. Got big money. Yeah.
Yo, hold on. Shout out real quick to your guy, Brandon Pfaadt, man.
P-Fat.
I mean, if what you said is true, and I guess I can come around to that line of thinking that the series was over in the first
immediately.
Inning. If that logic is true, like if that point is true, I still got to give credit to Pfaadt, our guy, for at least doing his part to put the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a strong showing. Yeah. I saw guys on Twitter replying to the D-backs post being like, just snagged a Pfaadt jersey.
Yeah.
For this game alone. And I'm like, you got to tip your cap. Even like I said, even if the series was over, it's nice to have a guy go out there and reassure you that let's just put this thing to bed. And that's what he did. He went 4 1/3, only allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 Ks. Shout out P.
4 1/3. They're saving bullets. A lot of Diamondbacks guys save bullets. It feels like they're getting to this stage in the NLCS where it's like they hadn't taken too many punches. There haven't been too many blows. You know what I mean? They got to feel pretty good. On the Dodger side, I got to be honest. I can't help but feel like a mid-2000s Yankees vibe. I can't help but feel it.
Explain.
When you're talking about, yes, like the expectation of stars being added, and then you're watching a season end with a Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, just guys that are, I don't know. It didn't seem like a fully complete team. And the philosophy that I, grew up watching with the Yankees is just like, let's just go get stars. Let's just go get stars over and over again. And the cohesiveness just wasn't there. Cohesiveness. Let's go with cohesion. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just, it wasn't there. It didn't go. Stars didn't show up. It's fine. It's just like, I don't know. I think we're going to go 10 years down the road and you're going to look back at this Dodgers team and been like, that's who you were relying on. And it just, Miguel Rojas. It's like, What are they doing?
That's what I was saying. And I don't know if
this should have been an 87 win team.
It's exactly what I've been saying. And I may not have like verbalized this in so many words, but that's kind of what I've been thinking this whole year. It's like I said, and like I've been saying, from my point of view, I thought this was a punt year for them, but they just keep winning and winning and winning. And then you're like, okay, I guess we just accept the Dodger narrative and recognize that they're going to figure out a way to win regardless, punt year or not. And then they get swept, and then you're like, okay, this makes more sense. Like, granted, it was at the hands of the D-backs, which you could kind of go either way on. But when it happened, I'm like, okay, we can finally slow this train down a little bit, because there for a minute, I'm like, okay, what is this Dodgers team actually capable of doing? Because they just won 100 games.
It's hard to call a 100-win team a pretender, and that's what they were. They're a pretender.
I feel like that's got to be such a rarity, though, to look at 100. How do you do that?
I don't know. I do not know. But Ohtani isn't going to fix everything. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to fill in other cracks, which they're capable of doing. There's always someone that comes up from the farm, just like James Outman this year. Some
the young guys
prospect that no one knows shows up and does their thing. That's just what the Dodgers do.
The young guys we saw in the bump this year will be hopefully that much better next year. So, I mean, they'll be all right. But, yeah, just recognize that Shohei won't fix everything.
Yeah. You get Buehler back. Oh, I mean, that rotation, you start to have conversations when, like, Kershaw is, like, your fourth starter. I know
if he even comes back.
Yeah, the recency of it is just like, ugh. But overall, like Kershaw had a good year.
No, I disagree.
Throw him in a 4.
You're looking at the recency.
He's done?
No. I'm saying you're looking at the recency of just his last outing. I'm looking at the recency of this full year, and I'm sitting there going, there's no way he doesn't come back next year, right? I mean,
yeah,
there's just no way.
But that's what I'm saying, is that you're getting restocked. If you do get Ohtani, you have him or Walker Buehler at the ace spot. Bobby Miller looks like the real deal. You get Tony Gonsolin back for real. I know he came back this year, but like I don't think that was fully him. You give him a full off-season, healthy spring training. That's a rotation. That's a real deal rotation.
You'd have to find a way to plug the hole. And maybe you did that, or maybe it will prove to be that with one of the young guys that we saw this year going into next year. But you have to account for Arias not being there. So that
I'm not at all. Yeah, he's gone.
So that if you do get Shohei, it feels like an actual addition, and it's not just a better arm than Arias.
Mm-hmm.
But you need it to feel like an actual, like, oh wow, we just upgraded our rotation, like for real, not just like, well, we don't have Arias coming into this year, we got Shohei,
and here's the other thought to it, is that if you do bring in Shohei, you have to go 6-man rotation.
True, yeah.
So, and you watch teams like, I don't know, I didn't follow it like enough to know what the plan was or why it happened or if there was a ton of struggle. But like the Phillies getting Lorenzen, and then the last few weeks him being in the bullpen, and now we're seeing him in the bullpen. That's just interesting when you have like a super deep rotation that you can slide guys in a bullpen role in the postseason. Because you will have these anomaly starts where it's just like, hey, our 2 guy out of the rotation just went 2 1/3. We got to fill in these innings. So
the key is having those guys adapt well to that position, like a Lorenzen. Like you need him. That's the key.
Unique guys that can do that.
closing up here on Dodgers D-backs. Again, unfortunately, I feel like we're focusing on the team that lost and not the team that actually did the sweeping.
I think we're just saying goodbye. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, did you see Magic Johnson's tweet today?
That was the dumbest thing I've ever read. Did you?
Magic Johnson
he was
on
an
Twitter.
athlete. What is that?
We're all disappointed that our Dodgers didn't hit or pitch well. That's why we lost the series to the Diamondbacks. Apt analysis, Robert.
Duh.
Apt.
What are you doing?
Thanks, Magic. Appreciate you.
You're not just some random rich guy.
Yeah, come on, dude. You've been I don't know your full backstory on baseball, but like Nate said, you're an athlete. Come on, you're better than that.
Yeah.
That's not why they lost the series to the Diamondbacks.
It's not.
The reason they lost to the Diamondbacks, I discovered, and this maybe flew under the radar for some people because I did a little digging and I didn't see much commentary on this. But if you're listening to the broadcast in Game 3, Lauren Shahadi, I believe they cut to her at one point as one of the innings was getting started. And she was talking about, and I'm as per usual, I'm paraphrasing, but she said something to effect that in her conversation with Dave Roberts, or that she was reporting on what Dave Roberts said generally to somebody else, I don't know, but that Dave Roberts' mindset and approach for how he was handling his pitching staff and his pen, which he's been known to really struggle with those decisions, is that he was looking beyond Game 3. He said that I can't just worry about this game. I have to make these decisions with games beyond game 3 in mind. And right there is when I knew the series was over. Yeah, Kershaw getting blown up in the first inning, Game 1, you could say the series was over there. When I heard that, I said, if that's how he went about this game in a must-win game, it's over. You can't worry about the next game because now there is no next game. You have to figure out a way to win the game that's right in front of you.
Winning teams,
and I can't believe I'm having to say that. I'm not a major league manager, but I feel like this is so elementary. Like that's not your focus.
No.
What are we doing?
I don't understand. Like I said, like winning teams don't have that mentality. It's the cliche quote that we always get. Just worried about today. All we're worried about is today. Not worried about tomorrow. And he's saying the opposite. And then gets swept.
That's all you need to know right there. And just for the record, even if they would have won that game, I still would be making the same argument. That's not a good philosophy to adapt. That's not a good approach to go into a game with. And especially if you verbalize that to the guys around you, that doesn't really give them much of a boost in that moment right then and there. You're going, okay, well, you're kind of disengaged from what's going on right now. You're looking ahead at a game that may not even happen, and it didn't.
I think I'm putting him in the wet napkin club too. Him and Sonny Gray.
Look, I've come to the defense of Dave Roberts before, but with each year that they just continue to fold. And I know this year, like I said, it wasn't I don't fully believe they were going fully in on this year. Despite winning 100 games, I don't think this was a fully locked and loaded Dodgers team. Even with that, combined with some of the decisions he makes with the pen, I'm starting to be more out on Dave Roberts with every passing year. And like he's going to need to do something to change. And it's not just for me. I'm not unique in that regard. Like a lot of Dodgers fans, a lot of baseball fans are like have these same questions. Like why is that the way you're going about this, Dave?
I think if Dave was able to find himself in a Ron Washington role somewhere else, I think he could be loved. Put him as a first base coach, excellent base stealer as a player, knows what he's talking about. Get him out of the spotlight a little bit. I mean, Ron Washington did blow and got fired for multiple jobs, and now he's loved. So it's like you can save yourself a little bit, but I don't think Dave Roberts is the manager moving forward for the Dodgers.
I don't think Dave Roberts did blow.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he should, but I will say that he needs to slide into a different role and move along. I would seriously consider that, because if you do manage to lock down Ohtani, I think it's time to just open up an entirely new chapter and get somebody else in there.
Last thing I'll say, Dave, your team never had a lead in this series. Looking ahead to Game 4 probably wasn't the way to go.
No.
And so with that, we say our final goodbyes to the 2023 Los Angeles Dodgers. Moving along, the series I think that received the most attention, and for good reason. I really wish this could have gone 7. I think we deserve that as baseball fans.
Yeah.
And it begs the question, because I saw a bunch of different proposals for restructuring the postseason, which at this point doesn't matter, because I saw the report that came out today and said that Manfred is fine with the way the postseason is now. I saw a proposal out there today. I think I tweeted it or reposted it, that what if we went back to a 1-game wild card
and then 7, 7, 7,
and then 7 in the DS?
Yeah.
Because I needed 7 of this Phillies Braves series. I needed it.
I know.
It would have been tough on the heart and the blood pressure, but, and like, jokes aside, as I'm sitting here wearing a powder blue jersey, I don't really have a dog in the fight, and I was stressed at points in this series, and I don't even have a legitimate dog in the fight.
Yeah.
So like, I can't even I can't fathom what Phillies and Braves fans are going through or went through this series. That was good baseball.
And I think that's why there's probably some Diamondbacks fans out there that are like, all right, that was your World Series. But I don't know. I think the vets of the Phillies have the ability to turn the page and keep going.
I want you to say it, Nate. Say it with your chest. Was that the D-backs World Series?
You're saying that? No, I'm saying the Phillies.
You're saying, you said the fans of the D-backs. You were saying that was their World Series. You said the D-backs.
No, I'm saying the fans of the D-backs are probably wondering if the Phillies Braves, if that was their World Series, as if the Phillies just won their World Series, their most important series. Beating the Braves, overcoming that mountain, beating, one of the best offenses we've ever seen, was that Phillies World Series. And I think Diamondbacks fans are probably excited because it's like, there's going to be a hangover. There has to be a hangover after.
So you're saying there's going to be a little bit of a letdown?
I think so. I would probably give D-backs game 1. I would probably give it to them. Just saying. But I think, at this point, are we coming out with predictions? I couldn't be more wrong.
Let's get to the series. No, let's get to this. Well, that was on. First of all, I need to clear the air there. That was on me. You were in the car with me. We were driving to Baltimore for Game 1, and I was like, "Oh crap! I forgot to put out the graphic," which I always do, just so we can have it on record. It's still technically on record because it was on the pod, but
I don't even remember it. I think this Phillies one is the only one we got right. Phillies in 4.
Maybe other people go about this differently. I don't care about the in how many games thing. I just want the outcome right. And I don't remember. See, it's hard though because we update it halfway through the series. So I don't remember what we say going into the series. I don't remember how right or wrong we were. But anyway,
more organized next year, I think.
Safe to say we did have this Phillies one done. And what did I say? I said last month, maybe even the month before, I said Sharpie put them in the World Series. I said, spare me the Braves, spare me the Dodgers, thinking that they have to actually worry about the Dodgers. Not to be.
It's true.
Handle the Braves in 4, dude. I mean, come on. When are people going to wake up and realize that this Phillies team is for real?
Yeah.
When can we officially put the Bryce isn't clutch narrative to bed? And before you say that's not an actual narrative, just do a quick search. You'll see it's still very much alive, or it was alive up until last night, or 2 nights ago if you're listening to this on Friday.
That moment you're referring to, it's right behind you for those folks on YouTube.
How about that? How about that? Check it out. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it.
If you're not watching on YouTube, get on YouTube.
Get on YouTube. Go check it out.
Subscribe,
how about that, dude?
Like.
Less than 24 hours. It had been...
It's a nice... Did you print that at home?
It had been maybe 12 hours, 14 hours before this thing was hitting the freaking printer. And now it's on the shelf. How long it stays there, I don't know. I don't want to be blocking Cal's Wheatie box for too long, but...
It's a cold picture.
Dude, I mean, photo of the year for me.
I would challenge you to see if you can get that mailed in. Get it signed.
I was thinking about that. If there was any way
Wait for
I
it.
could get that done.
Wait for it, yeah. Send it in.
I would do it. Game 3. The game in which this moment behind me took place. Aaron Nola came out and shoved. Phillies win 10-2. Nola went 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, 9 Ks, only 1 walk. Bryce Elder, on the other hand, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 Ks, and a walk. The man of the hour, Bryce Harper, 3-run homer and a solo bomb. Let's go ahead and talk about it because everybody else is talking about it. The stare down of Orlando Arcia. And I know it's not as spicy now that the series is over, but it's still worth talking about. In the moment, I'll just say this. We were at the gym and they had the game up on the TV. So I was good. It wasn't like I was missing anything. I was just sitting, I was on the treadmill, doing my run, hating every minute of it, but I was watching the game. And I'm not kidding, dude. When I saw the first home run, I know I'm a self-admitted Harper homer. We're past that at this point. But I saw the first home run and I'm like, oh, the chills, dude. I'm getting chills. Second time around, I out loud started laughing when it happened. He hit the second one. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I saw the highlight where they showed his lap around the bag and showed the stare down. It wasn't until that moment that I decided to crank the treadmill up because I was like, I'm so
gassed up.
I'm so juiced right now. And I was loving I turned into the biggest Phillies honk in that very moment. And I'm not ashamed to admit it.
I'm trying to picture you going from like a 2.3 on the treadmill to like a 3.6.
Dude, I just mashed the thing down. You see the thing going. I was like, all right, let's dial it back a little bit. My legs can't keep up, but I'm juiced still. I'm juiced. But I wanted to because you were you got caught up with work and stuff today. So I didn't really get to hear much of your take on it. How much of that do you think was, dare I say, necessary? How much of that do you think was unnecessary? Do you think it was warranted?
The stare?
Just the whole situation, because you obviously go back to game 2, the incident from game. Well, I called it incident. Orlando Arcia's comments after the game in the clubhouse. Apparently, a reporter, a beat writer, somebody picks it up. I guess tweets it out or it leaks into an article or something where he was like, haha, attaboy Harper for ending the game with his base running blunder. I'll call it in quotes. I don't think it was a blunder. It was just the way the game ended. He's quoted as saying that that blows up. Harper shows up the next day in a Coach Prime shirt, obviously alluding to the whole they made it personal thing, goes out, does what he does, 2 jacks, stare down. That, taking all of that into account, what are your thoughts on
it? Arcia, the quote that I didn't like was he wasn't supposed to hear it quote. Yeah. That to me is soft. You're going to talk. You want to say stuff, put it out there. Shame on whatever media person leaked this. I think there's an unwritten rule of media being in the clubhouse. When you just hear something that's not specifically, and I don't know if we know the situation, but it didn't seem like a reporter asked Arcia a question and he got that quote in return. It was just said, and I think a reporter in the clubhouse heard it.
It just sounded like something you overheard him coming through the doors. Like everybody's kind of like ripping their jerseys off, kind of getting ready for media availability and all that stuff.
So I'm not going to come down too hard on Arcia for saying what he said. I'm more disappointed in whatever reporter media guy let it out. But at the same time, I'm like, a little blessing that it did come out, because this moment's cold, dude. I'm going to put this like with I'm going to put up there with some cold moments, dude. Like the Kobe Bryant, like, check to the face, doesn't flinch, doesn't move kind of thing.
The AI step over.
The AI step over Ty Lue. Like, it goes up there for me. It goes up there. And we don't get a ton of these in baseball.
No.
It's always pitcher hitter thing. There's some retaliation. I love the position player to position player thing. The stare down was fire. You don't poke the bear, dude. Like, you don't. He's a freaking legend. And I'm not going to sit here and do like the Arcia, you're a nobody, can't talk to Harper kind of thing. Whatever. You're an athlete, you're playing at the same level. You want to talk, you can talk, but just be careful. Just be careful, because you got the horns, dude.
Can we backtrack a little bit? And you may have seen my text in the fantasy group chat, but I kind of disagree with the whole shame on the reporter thing, because the way I see it is it at face value, and clearly it blew up, and you can have hindsight, I guess, if you want. But at face value, to me, that doesn't really seem like something that should be considered off limits or shouldn't be included in a quick hitter press release, post game, or whatever it is. Again, I don't even know who put it out there. It may have not even been a reporter. It may have been a freaking clubby who just wanted to get his numbers up. I don't know. But to me, that comment is so, at face value, so inconsequential. So where I'm like, if it did get out, if it didn't get out, so what? Either way, it's not like he's talking about somebody's mother. He's just like, aha, attaboy Harper. I can't even envision a scenario where he said that with any like viciousness in his voice. That, to me, the way I see it, and you and I have been in different like locker room settings over the years, it's like, to me, the way I see it playing out is he walks through the doors, taking his unbuttoning his jersey, attaboy Harper, and that was it. And then somebody reports it, it gets blown way out of proportion. I want to go on record as saying I think it was blown way out of proportion. But like, at the same time, and I've said this before, I'm a sucker for narratives that fuel. And if this is something that Harper needed to kick it up yet another notch, go for it. As long as it's not manufactured. Like this, he took a quote that was said and ran with it. He didn't make something up that was never said to spark this little run he went on in
Completely
game
legitimate.
3.
It is
So
qualified fuel.
Yeah, I can see both sides of it.
Yeah. I'm just happy everything played out exactly how. Again, I don't have a dog in this fight. Like I'm not losing sleep if the Phillies lose this series. It is what it is for me. But I am a sucker for when you challenge a beast and beast shows up. I mean, like, what are those, like the Michael Jordan story when he was with the Wizards? I don't remember who it was talking noise to him. And then Jordan, it's like, he's like 42 years old and he pops off for like 35 in the fourth quarter. Like, just ends his career right there. I don't know, man. I like it. I'm here for it. I got a question, another one for you, another tough hitter. And this is one that it hits close to home for us.
Hold on, pause.
I hate it when you do that.
I'm
starting my question.
You gave me a good idea. It's about your question. We need to do just like at some point this offseason, we need to just do like a full-on hard hitters questions episode where we just bounce back and forth hard hitters. Because I love this. I love this. I love the build-up. All right. Speaking of build-up, go ahead.
Hard hitter. Is this the new Yankees Red Sox?
If it is, I'm absolutely here for it.
I think it is.
I'll tell you that much.
I think it is.
I need 7 games of this every October.
Yeah. We're in that.
We're
in that.
October.
This is early 2000s Yankees Red Sox to me. Maybe mid 2000s.
I love it, dude. I love it. And the best part about this, and I wish those aforementioned AL East clubs would take a hint. You've been there before. Go back to it.
Yeah.
Is the Phillies and the Braves have guys on their club that are going to be there for many, many years. So we can look at this situation and say, yes, this can play out as the next Red Sox Yankees, because we know that a guy like Harper, a guy like Trey, literally 1 through 9 on the Braves, are going to be there. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. That's good for baseball. I don't need these 42-year-old rentals playing third and DHing from time to time.
Yeah.
Give me guys, give me dudes, give me stars that are going to be here and pay them. We're not going down this whole payroll rabbit hole again.
No.
But if you're a team that's not named the Braves or the Phillies, I don't know how you can't look at what's going on with these two, what's going on with the attention they're getting, with the fan base, with the energy. I don't know how you can't look at that and go, that's what I want. We need to figure out who our Yankees or who our Red Sox is going to be, and we need to build up something so we can have this every October and throughout the regular season, because you know that this series isn't going to change intensity in the regular season. These guys are going to be going at it in April, June, in August.
What we want.
That's what we want, and that's what we're going to get.
Like you were saying, it's two like cores that are going to go after each other for a while in the prime of their career.
And these are going to be
the dream.
Exactly. And these are going to be like dudes that are going to want it to turn into a Yankees Red Sox. Like, these are guys that are going to want to go at each other's throats.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Harper over here staring down, for all intents and purposes, a nobody. Like, yeah, sure, all-star rep this year. I get it. But comparatively, a nobody.
It means nothing to me now.
And true. Yeah, I don't even know why that matters to people anymore. And then you got him hitting the cutthroat, crossing the plate. And that's to Arcia, dude. Like, just wait till Acuna starts chirping Harper.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. This is shaping up to be something special.
Roger Clemens buzzes the tower on Manny, like that kind of thing. I mean, that's what we need, baby. That's what we need. You're right. I wish this would have gone. Wish we had 7 to work with. Would have been nice.
I'm all about it. But then you got game 4. Just an excellent game of baseball.
Great game.
Castellanos, as I mentioned, back-to-back
Blastianos.
Blastianos
There it
going
is.
back-to-back games with multi. Was it the first time in the postseason, right?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
Back-to-back multi-home run games.
Mm-hmm.
Guy had a series. Bryce had a series. Trey was 4 for 4 tonight.
Yeah. Not being talked about.
I mean, that lineup is
Made a sick
and he
play.
Trey had a bop or two in this series. Like,
Yeah.
this lineup is just unreal.
JT with a double. The game 3. I mean, that's what I'm saying, dude. You got like this depth where everyone showed up, everyone did their thing. The Braves just got quiet, man. They went real quiet. And this is not a team where you're used to missing one opportunity like the bases loaded fly out by Acuna to the track. This is not a team that you're used to talking about like, that was our one chance. This is a team that is just built to like give themselves chances inning after inning, and they didn't do it the whole series.
This is a great opportunity to remind people that this series right here, not even this series, just this outcome for the Braves goes to show you that at the end of the day, nobody knows what they're talking about, because nobody predicted at the halfway mark this year that this Braves team wouldn't even make it to the NLCS. And nobody was saying that.
Nope.
Nobody was saying that.
Nope.
And they certainly weren't saying that it was going to come at the hands of the Braves or at the Phillies. Nobody was saying that. So
And
it just goes to show you that anything can happen in October.
You can no longer call yourselves or compare yourselves to the 27 or 98 Yankees. Sorry. You lost.
Yeah. Nah, you can't be doing that, Braves. Sorry. Look, you guys got your ring. I'll give you that much. Tip of the cap to the 2021 club, but the 2023 Braves were not the 27 Yankees. I hate to say it, but that narrative's over. Let's look ahead to 2024. See which next up-and-coming star you're going to lock down for a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Because 2023 is over.
Yeah. Sure they got somebody. So annoying.
I love it.
They're going to copy and paste, though. They'll be right back.
They'll be right back, and I'll be
Probably add a rotation guy.
I'll be pulling for whoever they're going up against in the postseason. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No, but actually. Braves fans, have a nice offseason. Let's get to predictions and we'll get out of here.
Okay.
ALCS, who takes it? How many games?
Gotta love the division matchups. I'm just gonna say what I want now. I don't care about being right.
As long as you qualify it, that's as long as people know, that's fine.
I'm just gonna say what I want. I want Rangers in 6. Give me a good long series. But nothing crazy. Don't need it to go 7. So Rangers in 6. That's what I want.
MVP for the ALCS, who you got? While you're thinking about that,
give me Jonah Heim.
Wow.
Give me Jonah Heim. I just love how he plays like a freaking stud behind the dish. I would say he's definitely a top 5 catcher. possibly a top 3 catcher in baseball. Just
Wow.
an animal. So give me that because he's got the juice at the plate too.
What I was gonna say is I didn't even mention it, but did you see that moment for Nathaniel Lowe after he hit that home run and just like the sigh of relief he had? That was cool to see.
Yeah.
Because he had been, I can't remember what it was. It was since September something without a home run. I think I saw.
It's a lonely feeling when the rest of the boys are bopping and you're
Yeah.
not. So,
I mean, at what point do we learn to just stop?
I know.
I
I know.
I look,
I know.
it doesn't. I don't get any joy out of this.
I know.
But
That's
like,
why I said I'm going with what I want because I'm not going with what I think.
Well, I mean, if what I want means a repeat of last year just for the revenge narrative, I gotta go Stros.
All right.
Because you already know who I'm pulling for out of the National League. So, unfortunately, a Phillies Rangers World Series doesn't really get it done for me. So, of the two teams that are there, at least give me, like I said, give me the run it back narrative for late
I'm
October.
so tired of the Astros. I couldn't.
I am too, but you only have 2 options, and like, I hate to say it, but like at least give me the repeat, because otherwise Phillies Rangers that doesn't move the needle. No. So pains me to say, I'm gonna go. I'll give the Rangers some credit. I'll push it to 7.
Good.
I'll push it to 7, but I gotta take the Stros and
MVP.
I know it's like a super easy pick, but I just can't. I can't turn my nose at what Corey Seager's doing at the plate right now, and it's not even. Yeah. It's not even the balls he's putting in play. It's
how he's seeing it.
It's how he's seeing it. You can't, like, you just can't. Like, there's nothing as a hitter. There's nothing that feels better. And I know it may sound weird to some people, but like, it just feels good to be able to get on base via the walk, because it tells you that, like,
it's just like keeping your hot streak going.
Yeah, it kind of extends out a little bit, extends its life a little bit, but it also just it assures you that what you're seeing is reality. Okay, I'm seeing the zone well. I'm interpreting the zone well. And in Corey Seager's case, I'm swinging the bat well. So when I finally do get pitched to, I know that I'm going to be able to do damage. So I think he's in a good spot to keep this thing going. So I'm going to go him MVP.
All right.
And I've already...
Wait.
Oh, no, sorry. Backtrack. I was
going to say, you took the Stros in 7, right?
I took the Stros. No, I wanted... I think my gut initially was that I wanted the Rangers, but then I thought about it. I'm like, I just don't know if that moves the needle for me. Because you're right. Like, I'm tired of the Astros. And so I think initially my gut was like, the Rangers would be exciting. So I think in my head, I was thinking I had already picked out Seager.
That's fair.
But I guess if oh, golly, dude. Honestly, I could, if this thing goes 7, I could see Verlander.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Showing up yet again.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because, I mean, he is found his home yet again in that rotation for them. So I'm gonna go Verlander.
All right.
That was a good catch though on Seager.
Yeah, I was like,
all that to say, all of what I just said still holds up.
Valid.
Like, he's gonna have. I think he's gonna have a great series.
Yeah.
And then Phillies, obviously, NL MVP.
In how many?
I'm gonna go 5.
Okay.
I'm going to go 5. MVP? Give me Castellanos.
All right. I'm gonna go Phillies in 6. I'm gonna go both series with 6 games. I think if the Phillies pitching manage to work through a Braves lineup as good as the Diamondbacks have been offensively, I do think that the Phillies can manage the Diamondbacks lineup. So that's why I'm going with that.
Do you think that taxed them though? Like just
Possibly
emotionally, like that's got to be an emotionally draining series to battle through.
True, but I mean it's got to be like if we just got through them, we can get through these guys. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? If we could do that, we can definitely do this. So that's my mentality with it. And I think it's gonna be a good series though. It's gonna be a good series if you're a baseball fan, just in general. Give me Schwarber. Give me Schwarber for MVP. I need him to wake up and just do Schwarber things.
I can see it.
It only takes one swing for that guy to get rolling again. So, yeah.
I can see it. Well, that'll do it for our predictions. We will. I don't know when we'll hear from, or when you guys will hear from us.
When do these games start up again? Saturday?
I would imagine Saturday, Friday off day.
We're not having to split them up again, are we? Sunday. Looking at Sunday, only Astros and Rangers. Phil's Diamondbacks don't start till Monday. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Monday night. Tuesday night. I don't know. We'll figure it out, right?
We'll figure it out. We always do. But other than that, that is all I have. You got anything else?
Rate, review, subscribe. Somewhere, somehow, some way. Help us get YouTube cooking up a little bit more. We did not decorate our offices for nothing.
It's true.
And Kyle puts a lot of thought into what he's wearing for each pot. So
I just
need you to respect
I
that.
actually do. It was a little easy tonight, but yeah.
I need you guys to respect that. So get that done. That's all I got. That's all I got. Allergies are out and they're real, folks. So keep the Claritin handy. No free ads. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.